Okay, so we're back, and now we're going to be doing a quick little tutorial on columns. So the column function allows you to divide your page up into different sections, helps the text flow a little bit easier. So if we have existing text, what we do is we first highlight the text we want to convert into columns, like so. Then we go to page layout. So from home, insert, design, then page layout. And here under the page setup group, we have columns. So add or remove columns. You can use the presets here for quick editing. As you can see, these are the different name presets. Each of the different names describes what each of the settings are. But if you want more detailed settings, and you will probably have to be using this for the most part, you go to more columns. So page layout, columns, more columns. And here's your little dialog box right here. Okay, so for this example, I want 3 columns, I want a line between, and I want to make sure that each of the columns is an equal width. If I want different widths, I make sure this is empty, and I can change my widths and my spacing using these little spin controls up top here. But for now, make sure equal column width, and make sure it's set to apply to selected text. Your other options are whole document, but that'll end up doing that, which you don't want. Just a note, if you do something and you get a mistake, remember you can always go to the top here and say undo. So if your document starts looking like Frankenstein's monster, just go to the little undo button here. Okay, so page layout, columns, more columns. I want number of columns, 1, 2, 3, equal column, and make sure it's applied to selected text. And we go, okay. And there we go. So here we have our introductory paragraph, some details. If we want to neaten up our column presentation here, there's another function we can use called column breaks. So we can tell it where do we want the column paragraphs to end, or to break, if you will. So page layout, page setup, breaks, and column. See what that does there? It puts all that information in the one paragraph on the one column. So now we click where we want our next break to be and say breaks, column break, and there we go. So a column break breaks up each of the columns into different paragraphs. So here we go. Now we want to neaten it up even more. We highlight and go home and justify. As you can see, justification just makes it easier to read through. And there we go. So that is how you do a justified column break within your setting here. If we want to type out more columns, say below here, we then go page layout, columns, more columns, apply to from this point forward, and we select, say, 2 columns, equal width, line between, from this point forward, and there we go. How do you know you're working in a column space? Well, you will see right up top on your ruler here, break there, this white space in between here. That's how you know you're working with the appropriate columns. If I click here, you'll see 3 different column areas. So remember, to start typing your own text and putting it into columns as you're typing, you go to more columns, apply to this point forward, and just choose number of columns. Does it have equal spacing? Is there a line between? Yes or no? And okay. And there we go. So let me just type some text. And there we go. As you can see, the text is now flowing in 2 columns, whereas obviously the more columns you have, the smaller the space you have to type in. Okay, thank you very much.